Hello and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Speak Life podcast. We are so excited to have you with us for another wonderful week. I am your host, Minister Phoenix, alongside my beautiful wife and amazing co-host.
Hey, wonderful people. Welcome to the Speak Life podcast. This is your co-host, the one and only Shika. Welcome.
And I know for our faithful listeners, I know it's been a while. That's my fault. It's like it's like week after week. She's like, "We're gonna record an episode. We're gonna record an episode." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna record an episode."
We're going to record an episode.
4 weeks later.
4 weeks later.
All right, so sorry we missed y'all, but we back and we got some big changes in store. But that you'll have to wait to see that. But there's some surprises that are gonna be coming, and it's gonna really change the way that the podcast moves along. But we're excited to have you with us. If you're part of our faithful listening group, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all for real. We love you guys for real.
For real.
Seriously, and people just keep getting more and more blessed by the podcast as the time goes along.
If this even have little people,
even little people that I be trying to hide from, they be finding me. But but shout out to y'all. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. I got a few comments to get, replied to, but, we do appreciate those comments because it helps us to really tailor the stuff that we want to talk about. If you haven't gotten your book,
Three Roads Collide.
When Three Roads Collide, a copy of God's Grace, go check it out. Yeah. Google it. You can find it. Holla at us. You can find it, and we'll be good to go.
Alrighty.
All right. Now that the formalities are out of the way, this week we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. And this one is just simply, can we be honest?
Can we be honest?
Can you be honest?
Can you be honest?
Can we be honest?
Can we be honest?
Can we be honest? Can we really keep it a buck all the time? Can we really be honest all the time? And to really just start off our conversation, I'm going to just throw this question up in the air and we'll see where it lands. Are there times, I'm just going to use you for an example. Are there times where you don't want people to be honest with you?
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, I look at us, right? And sometimes, you're like, I'll ask a question, right? And I'm like, oh, babe, do you think, so-and-so, like say you're going out and you're wearing an outfit and you're like, you really want to wear the outfit, but you really don't know how it looks. And you're like, and I'm like, babe, how does this look on me? I really want him to say, oh, babe, it looks good. But I'm asking him to be honest. And then he look and he's like, yeah, you shouldn't wear that. You should change it. I'm like, that's why I didn't want to ask you, right? Like, that's why I didn't want to ask you. But so sometimes you want people to be honest with you, but it's kind of like, do you really, really want them to be honest with you? Do you really want them to be honest with you? So I think there are times when I say, like, especially I think with you, I'm like, babe, I want you to be honest. But sometimes you're scared of what's going to happen. Like, you're scared of the truth, right? So I think as human, we're like, we want people to be honest, but we're really scared of what the outcome is gonna be when they're honest.
That is very interesting. that is very interesting because I think for me, I think there are times. And I'll just use this at marriage for an example. I think there are times even in relationships where you're not really looking for honesty. Where you just like, all right, I always, and I read this online and I thought it was pretty cool, where it was just a thread of conversations with married couples. And they were saying, sometimes when your spouse comes home and they're complaining about things, he's like, there was this one couple where the husband was like, I've gotten into the habit of asking my wife, do you want solutions or do you want comfort right now? Because as men, we're solution oriented. We're like, all right, this is a problem. This is what you need to do to fix it. And sometimes people, especially your spouse, they're not looking for solutions. They're looking for you to keep your mouth shut and just listen to what they're going through and empathize. You know, so I'm like, and I got caught in one of those moments with you the other day where you was like, well, this is what you need to do. I was like, hold up. Listen, I just need you to listen. I'm like, this is just a venting moment for me. I don't want you to give me a solution right now. I don't even want an opinion on it right now. I just want you to listen to me complain and vent, you know?
But see, to my defense, right? We're keeping it a buck, right?
Keep it 100.
To my defense, when someone comes home and they're like talking about the same thing that's bothering them, right? And when it's like, when it's consistently like every
hear
day.
About it. You're going to hear about it
right?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And I'm like, so at this point, when I heard about it on Monday, I was listening. Tuesday, I was listening. Wednesday, I was listening. Thursday, I'm still listening. Friday, I am still listening. Saturday, Sunday, then come Monday again. Okay, here's the solution. This is what you should do. So when he's saying, I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for a solution.
No solution.
I've been listening. I listened for 7 days.
So here's a question.
7 days.
Does honesty have an expiration date?
It may not. No.
Is there a time? Though, like, is there a time where it's like, all right, I'm holding back on the honesty. I'm holding back on it. I'm not gonna give it to you just yet. But then it's like, all right, time for this is just run out. You just
because that's where I was.
You gonna get this
right?
truth.
Because I'm like, okay,
you gonna get this.
I am being the loving wife that I am. My husband comes home and he's frustrated about certain things.
Frustrated.
And he's venting, and I'm giving him his moment. I'm allowing him to vent. And he vent, and he vent, and 7 days later.
7 days later.
I am to the point where I'm like, okay, I've been very, very attentive.
I love the fact of how she's like trying to choose her words.
and I am listening. But then
Lord.
On that 7th day.
On the 7th day.
I am like, okay.
God rested. On the 7th.
It's time to rest it.
On the 7th day, the vent rested.
Yes. Let me give you a solution. Let me help you. Because I've been listening. And now I have a solution for you. So.
But sometimes people don't want solutions.
I get it.
Sometimes people just want to be listened to.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it's not fair to the listener. It's not fair to the listener. Like, well, you know.
So in that case, no, because this is a great example.
Because I was gonna say, in my field of work, right, where I'm like, okay, being a counselor.
Hold up, you get paid to listen to people.
But that's what I was about to say. That's why I had to, you know. At this point, I'm not getting paid.
Oh.
I'm listening.
I pay you
but
with
you're
being the great husband that I am.
But at this point, I feel like I am. I listened to you for 7 days. And now I'm like, okay, here's a solution. Because even being a counselor, there are times when we have to give homework. We have to give our clients homework. Like, okay, I'm listening. I've been listening to you. Now, here is what I want you to do. This is your homework. And I want you to write this down, and I want you to take it with you. And I really want you to really understand why I'm giving you this homework. So now it's for my client.
But I ain't your client.
It's for for you.
Don't be using your counselor tricks on me.
It's for you now.
I don't like these Jedi mind tricks.
The fact that I have sat here and I'm listening to you and I've listened, right? And now I'm giving you homework and you're telling me you don't want it. How does that work? So is it fair to the listener who has been listening and now you're like, okay, I can see where the problem is. I understand what you're saying, but now I'm ready to diagnose.
Oh, so here's a question. just piggybacking off of that, because that's a really good point. Like, you know, if you have a person that you're venting to about the same thing, let's say you're that person. Mm-hmm. How do you approach that situation to be like, all right, now listen, I understand you don't want solutions, but I've been listening to this for a while. Mm-hmm. Like, what, how do you move that conversation from me just sitting here venting to you to now, listen, you got me here listening to this vent, but I'm tired of listening to this vent.
But see, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm tired, and that's not what I was saying. But if someone is, you know, venting, and you reach that point where you're like, okay, it's starting to getting old. It's getting old where now I feel like I need to give you my advice, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm thinking. And it's not like I'm tired of listening, but I'm trying to help you see.
Nah, sometimes like we can keep it a buck.
Yeah, like
sometimes you get tired of hearing the same thing over.
Well, yeah, you get tired, but I'm saying for in that situation that I was talking about, like it's not like I was tired. I was just trying to help you help yourself.
Let me help you help you. I'm sorry. This is a serious moment. I'm
trying to help you help yourself. Like I'm trying to give you a solution. I'm trying to, and I wasn't telling you, you know, or giving you that advice to say, okay, you know what, this is a solution. We're done. But it was like, you know, it's a way to say, okay, why don't you, playing devil's advocate, right? Why don't you look at the situation differently, from a different perspective.
Perspective right? does change a lot.
Let's look at it in a different way and see. Because sometimes, honestly, yes, the situation might be bad, but sometimes if you look at it from a different lens, you'll see it in a different way. And that's what I was trying to get you to do.
Oh, write that down. Sometimes change your perspective. It can change a lot.
But because, you know, when you're venting and you're in your feelings.
I wasn't in my feelings. For the record, I was not in my feels. I was not.
It's like you're not hearing anything. you can't hear anything because you're too. You know, you're like too. You're there. You're like all the way down there, and it's hard to come up and see anything.
Lift me up.
Like you know, like come see the light. Come into the light.
Come into the light. So this is a good one. This one right here is a good one because there are some people who will argue this point. Is there a time when not telling the truth is acceptable?
It depends.
Every great answer starts off with it depends.
It depends. Because, right? And this is me.
Come on, give us
I do not like to hurt people's feelings.
Oh.
I don't. Right?
Oh.
And I had an incident. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
So I had an incident, right, with one of my students. She came to me and she's like, Miss Sheikah, so-and-so is being rude. I'm like, how? Or being mean. I'm like, how? We were working together and she told me my breath stinks. She's like, girl, your breath stinks. Right? We're talking about honesty here. And she was hurt by it, so she wanted to go to my boss, right, the principal. And I was like, okay. So I was like, let me deal with this. So I called the other student who told her that her, you know, breath stinks. And I said, were you being mean when you told her that her breath stinks? She's like, no, Miss Chica, like, we were working together and she was talking. And I'm like, oh, girl, your breath stinks. Just like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, were you trying to be rude?
Side
or did
note,
you actually?
I love little kids. Let me just put that out there.
I was like,
shout out to the future.
I was like, were you trying to be rude or were you just like, I said, were you being malicious or were you just like telling the truth?
Oh.
And she was like, no, Miss Chica, like, her breath stinks. And I'm like, so then I had to go
down.
And I called the student who was very sad to hear that her breath stinks. And I said, see me, I like when people tell me the truth. Like if I am, and this is what I said, if it's something to do with how I smell, I would rather someone pull me aside and say, you know what? I can smell you or something. And I'll appreciate that because I don't want to walk around and everyone is smelling me. So I said to her, I'm like, so I appreciate when people tell me something about myself as far as my body odor, which I make it my business to make sure that I take care of myself so no one have to tell me that, right? Mm-hmm. But if so was having my a bad day and I forgot or whatever and someone had to tell me, I would appreciate that. And then I explained it to her in that way. And I said to her, she said she wasn't being mean. She was just trying to help her sister out. So I said, it's for you now to say, you know what? Oh, all right, thank you. And don't take it bad. Just say, okay, thank you. And then, go in the bathroom and do a check. Right? Check for yourself. And if you smell your mouth and you're like, oh, she was really trying to help her sister out.
She's looking
right?
out.
She's looking out. Yeah. But if it's not, then you're like, maybe she could smell it, but I can't. So that's why I said it depends. It depends because, like, for me, I don't know if I would be that honest to be like, oh, girl, I can smell your breath. I would probably go and get a candy or a gum or something and eat. I'm like, oh, you want one? And give her one too. And hoping that she don't say, oh, no, thank you.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Please eat this candy.
Right? So, and also, another thing. It really depends because, like I said, I don't like to hurt people's feelings. So, if I know that if you're already hurting, and if something that I'm gonna say to you is gonna hurt your feelings, I would rather not say it to you.
Ooh, that's gonna bring up something really good, but I want to touch on this before I'm that piece right there. I'm gonna hold that because I'm jumping up. No, we're gonna explore that. We're gonna explore that.
So, again, with that said, right? I think eventually I will come around and say something to you, but I'm observing, I'm picking, and I'm choosing, and I'm thinking wisely. I'm praying on it, and I'm thinking wisely how I'm going to say the thing to you, so that praying on it, like I said, and praying like, God, please help them to accept this and see it in a way where they know that I'm not trying to hurt their feelings. Because I don't like to hurt people's feelings. And praying that, God, I hope they see it in a way where they can tell that I would never do anything to hurt them. But I just had to tell them this. So I will eventually do it, but it will take a long time. It's a process. Because I need to make sure that I'm crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's.
Okay.
Before I jump in.
Okay.
Whew.
All right. All right. I'm just gonna touch on this a little because I wanna circle back to something that you said, which I think is really, really important. Now, I do believe that being honest is very, very important, right? Mm-hmm. But in the same sense, I think that honesty with intent plays a real big part in when we should be honest and when we shouldn't.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is this: honesty with malicious intent. You should just avoid that, because sometimes people just want to be honest to cut you. Sometimes people want to be honest to break you down, to make you feel bad, to hit your self-esteem, to knock down your confidence. So, honesty with good intent should always be explored.
Yes.
I think that is something that should always be delivered, because you're coming from a good place. You're doing it for the best of someone's, whatever the case may be. You want to keep it a buck with them. You want to keep those communication doors open so they know, like, yo, I know when I come to this one, they're gonna tell me the truth, whether I like it
or whether you don't,
and whether I don't. But I'll be able to accept it because I know that their intent is coming from a good place. Mm-hmm. So I will say, honesty with good intentions should always be acceptable.
Yes.
And now to my bigger question. Is omission of honesty just like being dishonest? Now, what I mean is this, and this is the perfect scenario. The booger on the face scenario. Oh. You see someone and they got one coming out, and it's like, woo. And when you look at them, it's like, it is apparent that they, you want to talk something. But a lot of people will have you walking around with a booger on your face before they'll tell you, like, yo, you might want to, So in that case, like, is omission of honesty when it is warranted the same as being dishonest?
I mean, that's
yeah. Because if I just got done talking to you and my breath is like kicking like Liu Kang, what and you don't tell me, like, come on.
Well, see, I'm the one to like I said, I gave the whole gum situation, I gave that example. For me, instead of going and say, and it depends on the relationship. It really depends on the relationship that you and that person have. Like, if it's like a sister, like a good friend, I'm like, okay,
girl, I'm gonna give you.
I'm not gonna be like, girl, your breath stinks. I'm gonna give you I'll be like,
I don't know. I might say that to one of my boys.
No, I'm gonna say like,
hey, yo, my man.
I'm gonna say, like, here is like something like, God, I can smell your mouth. Something like that.
That's the Jamaican way of saying your breath stink.
I can smell your mouth.
I can smell your mouth.
And then I will just give you like a gum or something. If I have it. If I don't have it, I'll just say, I can smell your mouth. And be like, oh, really? I'm like, yes. Like, oh my gosh. Or I could say, I could smell you or something. But I've done this with someone that's really close to me where I'm like, I could smell you. And then she's like, oh, no, I think I said, did you take a shower today or something like that?
Oh, you can't say that to people.
No, I said, did you take a shower today? And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, are you trying to embarrass me? And I'm like, I just asked a simple question because I can smell you. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, seriously? I'm like, yeah. And it was like, oh my gosh, all right, I gotta go. And I'm like, okay, yeah. When you get home, take a shower, Ooh. But like, it depends on the relationship. Like, I will, like, if I don't know you and I'm walking by you, or if I know you but I don't know you on that level and I smell you, I am not going to tell you that I smell you. I'm not.
You're just bringing out gems today.
Because I don't really know you. Like, I don't know how you're going to take me telling you that you smell. But on the other hand, if it's the same person who I don't really know like that, and we don't have, that kind of relationship, and I see you with a booger on your face, I feel more comfortable with saying you have a booger on your face, because I feel like it's different from me saying I could smell you than you having a boogie on your face.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So it depends. Like, for me, it really depends on what the situation is and the kind of relationship that we have. If I don't know you like that, I'm not going to just come up to you and say, I could smell you. But if I see that you're walking around and it's very apparent, that's a little more personal. It's very apparent that you have something on your face or you have tissue on your shoe, like, I'm gonna say, oh, you have, even if you're a stranger and you come out the bathroom and you have tissue like traveling with you, I'm gonna say, oh, you got something on your shoes. To me, that's nothing for me to help a person out other than having them walking around with stuff on them, right? Because I would want someone to do that to me.
You just keep giving me more and more questions.
But if I smell you and I don't really know you like that, I'm sorry, because I'm not telling you. Because I don't know you like that.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny.
Because I don't know you like that. I'm not telling you.
Next thing you just gonna be running around stinking because I don't know. Next thing
you gonna knock me out thinking I'm trying to embarrass you. Oh no, thank you.
Okay, so does level of relationship? I didn't even get to answer the question because you just keep popping questions into my head. Not seriously. So from hearing what you said, does level of relationship influence how honest you are with an individual?
I think so. For me, it is. And it's not like, the Bible tells us that we should tell the truth at all times. And we should be honest, right?
Shame the devil.
The word of God says that. But I feel like it's telling the truth, when the Bible talks about that, it's like literally like you shouldn't lie. Like if someone asks you a question about something, then you should be honest, right? But if you don't ask me nothing and I smell you, I ain't telling you because you didn't ask me anything.
You didn't ask me.
I am not.
You did not want my opinion, so I did not.
I'm not going to volunteer.
I'm not volunteering opinions.
My opinion.
Or information. If it's not, you didn't ask me.
You didn't ask me.
That's fair.
But if you ask me now and you're like, can you smell me? Like, do I smell?
Ooh.
And I smell
not
you.
Not to sniff.
I am going to tell you. You asked me. You shouldn't ask if you didn't want to know the truth.
The sniff.
So for me, when it comes to, and I think that's what, I should clarify what I'm saying, because if somebody asks me.
Then you gotta.
Then I tell you. I will tell you.
You have to.
But if you don't ask me.
You ain't volunteering.
Talking about being honest. I'm not going to volunteer my honesty. Because you did not ask me. But if you ask me now and I tell you, you can't punch me out because I tell you that you asked.
Yeah.
But if I just walk up to you, I don't really know you or whatever. Like that's like asking for a black eye.
People, please be careful what you ask for. Please be careful what you ask for. And I swear, it's like the more we have this conversation, the more stuff that just keeps
you know what? I would love to hear the comment on these.
Yeah, this one's gonna be good though.
I would really like, because I think I'm a very honest person, but if you did not ask me for my opinion, I'm not gonna volunteer.
Now I'm gonna take it deep. This one's gonna be real. This one, I'm just letting you know, like, Now, with that, let's take it to a Christian standpoint. What's good, family? I know y'all are like, no, y'all cut us off right when the episode was getting good. I know, but don't worry. We're going to pick it up next week, and it's going to blow your mind. I hate to shut y'all off like that, but we love y'all, so we pray y'all have a great week. Y'all continue to be blessed. Remember, life and death is in the power of your tongue. Make sure you speak life. We love y'all. God bless.